Hello, my name is Matt Bennett. Today I'm going to introduce you to some basic techniques in tattooing. So what we have here are two different styles of machine. One does outline, one does shading. The one that does outline right here is cut back a little bit so that it runs a little bit faster. It delivers a smoother line. The shader runs a little bit slower so you can focus on more detail and not move as fast. Okay, these are tubes. One is a magnum and one is a liner. The magnum tube is for shading. The shader needle that I'll be using today is a 7 mag. It has 4 on the bottom and 3 on top. At least that's how it should look when it's sitting in your tube, which I'll explain to you a little bit later. This is the tube. It is a 7 mag tube. It's designed only for this group, and you can't interchange groupings with different size tubes. It has to be specifically made for that needle group. This is a liner. This is, again, a disposable tube, a disposable needle. These are the most important tools you'll use. This is a tracing, or what is called a line drawing, of the dragon that we're going to be using today for this tattoo. To create a stencil, you're going to use thermofax paper, which is the most commonly used method of stenciling and tattooing. The way you do this is, in thermofax paper, there's a piece of onion sheet. You want to remove that and discard this piece. With your design, you want to lay it on top of the paper, tape it down firmly on each end, and trace it with something like a dull pencil. Anything sharp will rip through and ruin your design. If you don't tape it down, you can mess your design up underneath if you slip. Now we're going to start with our outline. First we're going to plug our machine in, and you'll grab your plug. The way you hook this particular machine up is insert the bottom, and it's spring-loaded and holds and just inserts in the top. Now you're ready to go. You want to step on your foot pedal. Make sure that you're at the right speed. You don't want your machine to sound sloppy or sputtery, and you don't want it to sound too soft like this. You want it to sound nice and crisp and clean without a lot of rattle going on, and you'll do that through your adjustment on your rheostat with your power unit. Again, we have our towel in hand. We're going to blot our machine off and make sure that there's no excess water left in there to contaminate our pigment and water it down, because that's not what we want. Then we're going to reach over here, turn our machine up just a little bit. As you start to working with your machine, you can start to see it slow down as time progresses with the tattoo, as pigment will get bound up in the tip and start to actually slow the machine down. So as that happens, you want to make sure that you keep it as clean as possible. And if you can't keep it that clean, turn your volume up a little bit. A little extra power will bring you right back up to where you need to be. And we're going to work from dark to light. In tattooing, the theory is working from dark to light. So say if I were to start my white pigment in this tattoo, and then I were to go to add blue, my fresh, crisp white would turn out to be a light blue. So we always want to make sure that we work from dark to light. Now, as you get to more technical parts of tattoos, you can do techniques called staining, where you can actually rub in darker pigments into lighter ones without even tattooing them. But again, we won't be getting into that. We'll be sticking to the basics here. Moving along, we're going to dip into our blue. Make sure we got a nice, smooth, consistent, creamy blue. We don't want anything too chunky or too watery. Go for our petroleum. Wipe down again. Now we're going to blot the needle off, make sure we can see where we're going. And now we're going to start laying blue, shading similar to the way that we laid the black. As we're laying the color over the black, don't be afraid to go over the top of the black with it. The black is an accent that'll make the existing color look like a darker shade, which actually works out really cool when you're moving along. Again, don't press too hard. You want just light shades in the beginning. You don't want anything in there too thick right off the bat. We'd rather start out light and wispy and gradually build.